what up? Welcome back to Bold, where we interview bold people here at UST. Today I have the pleasure, the honor, to interview two ladies who are junior here at UST. And both are household ladies living in-house, I like to say. One of them is Emily Garza, right? Am I pronouncing it right? All right. Jessica Salinas.
Yes.
Is that it?
Yes,
all right.
perfect.
I'm your host, Alex Yemeck. Once more, I'm really happy to be here. And once more, we're going to learn about how we here at UST, engage into how we live as families in household here. And most importantly, the spirituality of it. And that's why we want to talk to Emily Garza and Jessica, so that they can kind of give us an insight on what's really going on in these households when we are talking about spirituality itself. Now, let's start here. I'm going to start with Jessica. Mm-hmm. Let's start by telling us a little bit about you. What are you studying? Your major? What you want to do in your career?
Yeah. So I'm a junior here at UC, so my third year. I am a composite science education major,
right.
So basically just science education. So I really want to teach high school science. That's what I'm hoping to do.
Wow, that's wonderful. Same thing for you, Emily?
No.
All right. So,
I'm also a junior, also an education major, but I am mostly for elementary bilingual education. Yeah, I just switched my major to bilingual. So teaching like English to students who like maybe don't know English, like as teaching as their second language. That's what I do.
Wow, this is wonderful. What about your spiritual life? Your family, where you come from. Both of you, I understand you both Catholics. Tell us a little bit about yourself, as far as like your spirituality. How did you develop this need of doing what you're doing now, living in a household, and focusing on this? Where is your spirituality comes from?
Yeah, so my family kind of has been Christian like our whole lives, right? So I didn't exactly grow up Catholic, but then whenever I turned 14, it's kind of like the Hispanic culture is like, oh, like it's time for your quinceañera. So I don't know, maybe you need to go to like catechism classes. And so that's whenever I started taking classes, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I loved having like conversations with like my peers and my teachers, the catechists. And I think that's where it came from. From like the age of like 15, once I started classes, like I stayed involved in the Catholic Church and like catechism. And whenever I came to UST, I was like, this is what I want. I want like a community just like I have back home.
So we can say that even you joining UST comes from that background.
That was definitely why I came to UST.
All right, wonderful. Same. Is that the same for you, Emily, or do you have I know that for you deciding to be in a household like that you also have a strong spiritual background.
Yeah, like I grew up Catholic since I was little. Like my mom grew up going to church, and so then like we grew up going to church. We were baptized right away, and like we've always been really involved at our church. So we would always be on retreats. So we'd always have like festivals at church, and so we were always like voluntold to like help out. And so like but I liked the community there, and like I didn't want that to like go away when I entered into college. And so that's another reason why I came to Catholic University, and like to find that community here too.
Wow, this is wonderful. Yeah, let's get right to it, because even for me, I have to say is the first time I'm hearing about it, and it's very exciting for me to just learn, right? So what is, tell us about the household. What do they do? How do it work? How does it work? Let's start with you, Jessica. Just tell us about it. I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be interested in just knowing what is it. What is that? Yes.
So households are basically like faith-based living here on campus. So you get to live with a group of people that have the same like faith as you, but also like they're open to like different faiths. So I know for us, like I'm in the new household, and in Non Nisi Te Domine, we're based on St. Thomas Aquinas. So it's kind of like we're all interested in the same like aspect of the faith, and so that's what our meetings are based on. And
yes,
stuff like
and just for listeners here, I kind of want you to repeat again. Most importantly, the name, right? You say,
NNT is like.
And translate that, say that in Latin and then translate, translate what it means.
Okay,
in English.
so NNT is Non Nisi Te Domine. And we basically took that because we're based on St. Thomas Aquinas. It's from the story of God asking St. Thomas Aquinas, look, you've done so many good things. You've written so many good things. What would you like me to do for you?
Exactly.
And St. Thomas Aquinas said, nothing if not you, Lord.
Nothing if not you, Lord. And that's what it means.
Yes,
Latin.
exactly.
Right. Wonderful. And for you, Emily, tell us about your household. Now we, from hearing from Jessica, we know, right, a little bit of what it is. Now tell us about your household. What is yours based on, and how did you even get to start that? Yeah.
So my household is SIW, or Simply Irresistible Women, and so we strive to be Simply Irresistible Women like Mary was, and how she would like put down everything to help others, and so that's what we strive to do amongst other things. And we're also based off of Shoenstatt, which is like there's different shrines around the world of Shoenstatt, and so we also have like a little Mary statue commissioned to us by the Rockport Shrine, and so that's what we're about. All right,
we yes, wonderful. So we talked about your spiritual background, right? I assume that it has a big role to play. For me, I'm looking at your spiritual background as you coming from high school, so you are under your parents, right? So now I want to ask you, why, now that you are, adult, ready to start your life, I say adult, really. What I'm trying to say is that when you enter college, you become free. You're ready to begin your life without your parent. So why did you join it, right? Because now you're free. Nobody is forcing you, anything like that. I know you have some spiritual background, right? So tell me a little bit, Jessica, what is it that makes you want to join this sort of life?
Yeah, so I mentioned like whenever I was in high school, like I was involved in like catechism. I was like in core team at my church, and I just found like a really good community, and I found that that's what I was desiring. I wanted that community to grow in my faith with, and I found that to be very helpful for me specifically, this and like my spirituality. And so whenever I came to UST, like that's what I was looking for. I was like, I want people that I can talk to like about my faith, that I can share all these things with. So I like naturally gravitated towards these households because that's like exactly what they're meant for.
Yes, you're kind of away from your family and people that you used to live a certain way, and you want to kind of continue that. Can we say the same thing about you too?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, like in high school I was involved in church a lot, and like my family as a whole is involved at our church, and so like but it was mostly like whenever I wanted to talk about my faith, it was like one specific group of people I could talk to, like my family, and then like my friends at church. But I wouldn't see them as often. I see everybody at school. It's like at school I couldn't really like talk about my faith because a lot of people at my school were not like, they were like Catholic, but they would not practice the faith, I guess you could say. Or there were just other people who were not Catholic at all. And so like coming here, I wanted to be able to like mix school and faith and have my friends like who I can just talk about it all the time. And so like getting to meet a bunch of new people. Like first it just started off with like 2 of these girls that I met freshman year that I could go to mass with every day, and now it's like I know like everybody in my household, and then all the different households, we always get together and do things like
Wow, that's wonderful. Now you are in your household, right? Spiritual, everybody's thinks everything is fine, but you live with other people. So tell us your experience now, with other people that you're living with. You started this spiritual faith. Let's start with you, Emily. What has been your experience so far?
Like living with them? So like we are faith-based, and so like everybody in the house is Catholic, but it's not like we're always like praying all the time. So I feel like we still do like fun things, like whenever, especially we have like a tradition when it's like people's birthdays, we like make sure to like go all out. Like last year we had a surprise party, like quote unquote, for one of the girls, but we did it like at House of Pies. And so we kind of, Jessica was a part of it too. We kind of like
that was
lied to her
awesome.
and told her we were all gonna go out somewhere and like not spend her birthday with her, and then we surprised her there.
Wow.
Or like
Yeah.
we play board games, or like we go out and do crazy things
Fun
with each
stuff,
other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing for you, Jessica. Tell us about your experience. You know, you are in a spiritual household as well, but Thomas Aquinas. I mean,
Yeah.
how do you all see each other? How do you guys live with each other? You know, nobody's pissing off anybody. Things like that.
Yeah, it's definitely different. Whenever I joined it, I didn't really think about this, but it's just so different. I mean, like, you go into it and you're like, okay, we're all like these Catholic girls who are striving for this, right? And you kind of forget, okay, like we're all very different people. But I think it's been very fruitful in our household, because it's like, I don't know, we're all learning so much from each other, and so much about like each other's lives and different aspects of our lives, and our hobbies and all that. But also, like, when it comes to like late night talks, we all just get back and like talk about like those important like spiritual things. And I think, I don't know, it's been very fruitful.
Wow. Yeah. And you all have taken all your theology classes already, right? Theology, philosophy as well. Oh, man, wonderful. So let me ask you this. So why is the idea, right, of living in community important to spiritual life? You know, how does that help your spirituality when you live in community like that? Let's start with you, Emily. Jessica.
Yeah. So initially I never used to think like, oh, like community is super important to spiritual life, until I actually like started sharing my like my spirituality with people, my faith, my experiences, because I'm like an introvert, so like I used to just be like, I'm just gonna do it by myself, and I was okay with it, and I was like, oh, this is going good. But then like when I started sharing with others and like living in community, and having those fruitful like discussions with people, I really saw my spiritual life just like begin to like grow and like flourish in different ways that I never thought could happen. So yeah.
So it's more like experiencing with other, learning how to forgive.
Yes, exactly.
Things like that, right? Kind of helping you. Yeah. So what about you, Emily? You know, how's that? You know, looking at your spiritual background, you know, how do you see yourself growing? You know, when you live with other, you know, young lady just like you. You know, how do you grow spiritually?
I think living with other girls in the house kind of helps me, like, I guess, or like I get kept like accountable for like my spiritual life too. So like some things that we do every week are our virtue challenge, what we call it. And so like recently some of the virtues we worked on is like maintains balance and order. So like whether that be like within your personal life, or like doing your homework all the time. And then another one is what did we do? It was like tends to the needs of others. So like example, like how
work,
when Mary would just lay down everything and like do things for others, even maybe if she was busy. And so like we always like keep each other accountable like for things like that. So
wow, this is wonderful. So in a spiritual sense, we can say that you all feel like you're growing, right? Feel like it's helping. Like if you weren't living with all these other young ladies just like you wouldn't probably benefit, right? So you kind of see the benefits of it. Now, let's say outside of spirituality, right? Do you get any other benefits? Can you? What other benefits can you say you get? You know, maybe sometimes free lunch because you know. I don't know. You know, you live with other girls, and they were like, "Hey, today I'm buying pizza." Things like, you know, what other benefits you think you may get out of that?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. Wow. Okay, so I think something that's really important to me is like growing and maintaining my friendships. And I think living with others has really, really helped all of us like in the household develop as like just like our social and like interpersonal skills, because we learn how to like really like how you said, like you're living with other people. It can be hard sometimes, but like just having to like calm down and like just be like, okay, like this is another person that I'm talking to, you know, like just like knowing how to deal with other people is very valuable. And I feel like that has helped me so much, like just to like be aware of like what other people are thinking, feeling, like their perspectives on things and stuff like that.
Wow. What about you,
Same. Like the friendships, but also like keeping myself accountable, like making sure like my mess isn't all over the place, so that other people are like leaving all my dishes in the sink. Like yeah, it helps me keep myself accountable. Like I don't know, like be a better person by myself, but also like the friendships, like that's the best thing I guess we get out of it. Like we will stay up till like 4 a.m. just in people's rooms, like having conversations, and like 2 of the new girls are living in the house. Like I didn't really know them at first, but now like they're the people I talk to the most. And yeah.
I know you both briefly talked about some of the activities that you all do, right? Now let's talk about let's say when you wake up in the morning, right? What are your daily activities? Let's say, okay, let's try to, just go, because I'm pretty sure some other ladies are out there. They're like, yeah, I don't know about this thing. Is it all about being a nun? And something like that. So kind of give us your like on a daily basis, like when you wake up in the morning, right? What would be like a regular, normal activity of someone living in a spiritual community life just like yours?
Yeah. So I don't know about for you, but for me, so like we wake up some of us wake up around the same time. So we'll wake up, have breakfast together. It's usually pretty quiet in the morning. And then we're all pretty busy. So we all go on about our day. And then around lunchtime, we all if we're lucky, sometimes like we do all get to sit around the table and like just have lunch with each other and just be like, oh, like this is what I'm gonna do. I have class or like just talk about like our day, how our day is going. And then again, we all go about our day. We go to classes and work and stuff. And then around dinner time is when we all see each other again and have dinner again together. And that's when we usually like unwind and talk to each other. If we need a rant, we rant to each other about our classes and how stressed we are. And then, we usually just hang out. We sometimes go study together. We do like regular things. I mean, like we go out and have like late night ice cream trips. We do that a lot. And like go on walks and stuff. Like it's just like a normal friendships.
And Emily, so when do you schedule like, during your activities, let's say during the week, when do you schedule your spiritual time with your ladies, right? When do you have like during the day, like, or during the week, let's say maybe we'll take a Thursday to like Bible study or things like that. When do you schedule those things during your activities?
Yeah, so like so every Monday at 7 p.m. we have our actual household meetings, and that's like open to anybody on campus who wants to come and like listen to what we have to say or like give their own input. So that's like one spiritual aspect. And then every Wednesday at 7 a.m. we all wake up and we do morning prayer together. So that's another way. And then some of the girls will go to, is it 7:30 mass? Here on campus after our morning prayer. Usually I go back to sleep because I have work, but and then every Sunday at the 6 p.m. mass we all go together, and that's another way that we like grow spiritually as a household.
So would you all like have like some special activities that you other than like you've already scheduled? Let's say you have your Bible study on such and such day or such time. Out of that, do you have like any other like special activities? Maybe it can be sport or anything like that you all probably do together or anything like that. It would just be a regular lifestyle outside of spirituality. Let's go with you, Jessica.
Yeah, so I mean, like there are things that we schedule where it's just like, oh, we're just gonna like go out to eat. Like last Friday we went out to like Olive Garden, just like chilled with each other. We do like schedule things where like we're gonna hang out and not do like just like just spiritual things. So like we're gonna go to like a corn maze or something like that coming up soon in October. And then like most of it is unplanned. Like if we just hang out and do like things that are not spiritual, like we'll just go like I said, we were like big on ice cream, so like we just go and like get ice cream or like stuff like that. Sometimes work out together.
No, wonderful. So what I get from this is that you're not trying to transform anyone to become a nun. It's simply a spiritual life. You're just trying to share your spirituality with one another and kind of grow together, right? Now, let's start with you, Emily. What are the top 3 reasons why someone should consider joining a household? What do you think?
Oh, that's a good question. one, well, obviously for like the faith, like it's a good way to have other people like give, like to hear different perspectives on like faith. So like that's like a big thing for me too. Like Hispanic Catholic culture is a lot different than like, I don't know, other Catholic culture. And so I've got a lot of insight from other girls too. And so that's really interesting to hear. And then like the community also, like meeting new people, like the households are like our own little community together. It's really cute. I love it.
Wow. Yeah.
And then number 3, I don't know. It's just the fun. It's just,
there you go.
it's just super fun. Like getting to do like, I don't know. It's just like those are your like best friends. Like even if they're not in the same household as you, like me and Jessica do things together all the time. And then one of her roommates, Lauren, I'm always with Lauren too. And like we work together and stuff like that. Like
Wow, wonderful. Now let's go with you, Jessica.
Something different.
So what are the top 3 things you have learned from living in a household? What would you say?
Oh, that one's better.
3 things that I've learned. Okay. Number 1, sometimes things do not go your way. Scratch that. Most of the time, things will not go your way.
There you go.
But it turns out better than you expected.
All right.
What else? I think like you should take a chance sometimes. Like just take the chance. Get out of your comfort zone and be and be like vulnerable with others, and you will not regret it. You will make friendships that are probably gonna last like a really long time, if not a lifetime. And also another thing is just how fun, like how fun it is. Like I've learned how fun it is to be like around people.
Wow. This is wonderful. Thank you so much for coming here, Jessica. Thank you, Emily. I mean, to me, like I say, I've learned a lot. You know, I think I'll be out there thinking once my daughters grow up, I'll probably tell them. I'll definitely know what to tell them. Thank you very much for all our listeners. Once again, my name is Alex Yemeck here at UST Bold. And like we do every single time, we learn a whole lot here. So we invite you to continue to listen to us.